Hey, beautiful people. Welcome to Soul Toast.
The Johnny and Janaea Show.
Oh, I like it. All right, everybody. As you know, we're staying with our typical format, but this week we are starting with Janaea in the know. So, Janaea, what do you know?
Okay. I got to know that you don't know. I know you don't know it because I haven't told you. And so this is your first hearing of it, and I'm ready to just launch into conversation from this. Okay. So did you know that last night at, 2 a.m., me, 38-year-old Janaea, was up looking in my shower and under my bed and double checking to make sure my door was locked to keep me safe from murderers because I have multiple nightmares because I've been watching true crime lately.
What?
It's all true. I felt like a 5-year-old. And I even had to wake up my husband. I'm like, I'm scarred. And then I was like, maybe I shouldn't wake him up. What if he's the murderer?
What if he snapped and becomes the murderer?
So I thought maybe I should snap first. And then I thought, this is how it happens. Okay, so not that extreme. But here's what it had me thinking. I was legitimately scared. And I'm not scared when I watch it because it's all like, dun, dun, dun.
Right.
Uncovering, but it had me thinking, this stuff just seeps into her mind and then comes out in her dreams and entirely, I don't wake up and check under my bed, typically, not my norm. So thinking of how just having the show in the background a lot has seeped into my psyche to such an extreme, I thought, what would be the wise thing to have playing in the background of my life so that I would wake up in a different state?
Right. Okay, well, first, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Here's the realistic aspect.
Yeah.
If said TV show causes you such nightmares, why do we continue to watch it at night?
I promise I'm going to quit. I'm going to quit. I didn't know I was so affected. I've been watching it for a few days.
Right. That's
with my husband. And I really thought it was fine. I was like, I didn't feel affected. And right. I felt interested in the storyline and trying to, figure out like what happened. And there's that part of me that's like, oh, this is real. It happened to somebody, like how sad.
Right.
But I didn't realize that it was like completely overtaking like my, my state of being, that I woke up like in a panic.
Right. Well, I do have experience with dreams. And when I say experience, I mean I took like 4 classes and that's about it. So I'll tell you the things that I know.
Okay.
So with dreams, the lady that I took the class with said you just throw away a dream dictionary because they mean crap.
Oh,
so that's not helpful. But you were afraid of murder. So murder could be the end of something. So here's something to ponder. Ooh. Is there something in your life now that you really want to get rid of, or something that's ending, or something you want to end?
Definitely always things of that nature. But yeah, I can think of some things that might be on there. But in the dream, there wasn't murder. Does that matter? Yeah. It was induced by the show's depiction.
Oh, right.
Like fear state. One of the dreams was a personal rejection, and I just woke up like frantic. And then I started thinking about the show. Another dream was like, in the dream, like something reached up, like it was an unexpected thing and grabbed me, and I was like, but I didn't get murdered, nor did I murder anyone in the dream. But I was just like in such a frantic state when I woke up, and just dreaming such uneasy things. And then thinking about when I did wake up, I thought about the shows that I had seen, and I was like, better make sure I'm not going to die.
Right. So it created this panic.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I wonder what that's all about.
That you took dream class interpretation stuff.
I did. It was with shamanism, and it's this whole drumming thing where you can go into a dream.
That's fascinating. So do you interpret your own well, or do you interpret other people's best?
Oddly enough, I don't remember my dreams.
I remember like, you don't remember anything? I remember like
No.
emotional states. Do you remember that? Or like, sometimes I remember real super specifics.
Sometimes, every once in a while, I will remember a dream, but for the most part, no. For me, it's like I go to sleep and it feels like 2 seconds later it's morning. It's
I
like
feel
a complete wipeout.
I go through periods of time where my dreams are more evolved than other times. And then I could go like a year without remembering a dream.
Right.
But interesting that because I'm thinking about certain things in my life that I feel like they can slip between your fingers and be gone.
Yes.
And as you're saying that, like I'm literally thinking of my dreams last night and my panicked feeling of like, I had a job interview scheduled for today. It went well, but I have a job offer for a job I don't want.
Oh.
And then I had a job interview for the job of my dreams.
Right.
And I was trying to be all, I'm just going to set my intentions for the life that I want and for all of these things to come together. But then, of course, I was just like, if the dream job slips away and I have to do this, like, it just felt like such a
fear.
The murder of my dreams.
I think we've just come full circle.
Gosh, this was cool. We have like not spoken about any of this before.
No, I didn't even know you were watching.
I just had a realization. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm afraid of, like, I have such, with the Find Good Things Crusade and all the things I do towards intentions and following our dreams, and I actually coach people on it. And yet, coming out in my dreams is that I too, like all the people I work with, have such a fear of, what if this reality is a false reality?
Yeah.
Or taken from me, and then I have to do the grind work, or like, we don't work for fun, we work for a living, and all of these notions are in there trying to like kill this dream.
And that's so interesting that, like you said, we spend so much time with helping others and reaching their dreams that we can see it for them, but how, look at for you, it just creeped right up on you and you didn't even realize it until the show, these dreams.
And the clarity talking to you about it is so helpful for me to remember, because when I'm in these moments of what feels like almost panic and concern and fear, and a lot of times I use what I know through my coaching to almost like deny the reality of my panic and my worries. And so I have to be careful about that and remind myself to be in those moments, and in allowing those fears to be present, to recognize what they are. It actually helps me in all my work, because it allows me to sense the emotions that we all go through when we're standing there looking at something we want so badly. Like, there's that part of me that's like, I understand about setting intentions and dreams and moving forward confidently in the direction of your dreams, but there's that part of me that wants to push away the possibility of disappointment by not wanting it that much.
Right. So by you going through this, it builds your empathy, which makes you a stronger coach in coaching others.
For sure. Yeah, I'm glad we talked about this.
Me too, which is so perfect, because this leads very nicely into our next topic. So I want to get your opinion on something.
Okay.
So I was watching a TV show, and just this one little phrase sparked something, and it really made me question it. So everybody knows the phrase, everything happens for a reason.
Everything happens for a reason. Yes.
Yeah. So thinking about it, that means
well-used phrase to get out of any awkward situation, right? Well, everything happens for a reason. Yeah.
Oh, no. But that means, if we really think about it, that there's some, whatever you want to call it, God, cosmic controller, who, or what it is, decides everything in life. So, in thinking about that, does that mean that we as individuals ultimately have no free choice? Because if everything happens for a reason, well, does it even matter? Like, well, I picked a blue pencil over a red pencil because, well, in the end, something else has control.
Yeah. So do we have free will?
Yeah.
Yeah, from that expression. So This is an interesting topic, and I'm curious how you feel about it. I'm going to take issue with the very premise of everything happens for a reason. I've never subscribed to that. I think so. My belief is Christian, and I use a lot of biblical scripture. But you can find these notions throughout any historical text or most religions. Which is one of them is that there's a scripture that says all things turn to good for those who love God. I butchered it. It's something like that.
Right.
And that makes more sense to me. But I think that things can have another layer, that things can work in our favor when we are in alignment with a goal, with our purpose, and we're in alignment with our inner being, or to use like different terminology, but in alignment with God, in alignment with your inner being, in alignment with your soul's purpose. Then everything that's used against you, if you will, can be used in your favor. Right. But I think that, sometimes I think that's such an understatement, overstatement. Everything happens for a reason. Like, is it though?
Right. Well, that's what I think. I feel like using that phrase is kind of like a get out of jail free card.
Yeah.
It sort of excuses whatever behavior that you have.
And I think when you were saying like that, so say God or this being, does that mean we have no willpower? And I would almost like to think of it as like, if you think about, remember MacGyver, or is that before your time? Because you be a youngin', although you had a birthday. Oh, I should have done that for my in the know. But that's a big secret.
That is a big secret.
But I think about how if you would watch MacGyver, so the person would want to be rescued, say, like it was the person had the intention of what they wanted. He would come in and save them with like, a mucky wrench and a piece of gum and all of these random things. Well, people could say that was left there by this guy, and they could follow that trail. But the reality was that he could use anything to his favor. Right. He was resourceful. It wasn't about things being meant to be there. It was that no matter what was there, he could use it in his favor.
Right.
So maybe I subscribe more to that.
Right, which makes sense. I think for me, I see that we all have some big lesson or purpose in life. And I think that's sort of the end goal. But we have the free will whether we're going to, and of course this is subconscious because, let's face it, we all don't really know what that is in the end.
Right.
Whether we're going to obtain that goal or not. And if we are, we also have the free will of, it's sort of like, the way I view it is kind of like a maze. So there's the end, but there's so many different options and ways to get there. So we have the free will to make the choices through life. And maybe it means, okay, well, we chose to be a lawyer versus a doctor. But in the end, the ultimate goal is to help.
Yeah.
Like that's what we do in life. Like for me, let's just say my ultimate purpose is to be a healer.
Yeah.
Well, I had the free choice of, I could have been a doctor, I could have been a psychologist, or I could do like I do now, crystal healing, Reiki, all of these other things.
Fans are calling. I can hear them. Not now, fans.
Fans, seriously, go away.
They're like always after all day long. Not right now. I like that analogy, and then I have a thought too that if everything happens for a reason. That what you said sparks for me. With my son, who's 7, and he is nonverbal right now. He doesn't speak, and he has some disabilities and things that happened after he had already been speaking. And so I remember people would say, well, everything happens for a reason. And I would, that doesn't make anybody feel better. So it's not a favorite of mine. But what I gleaned from that is that, to your point, he came here with a purpose. I don't believe that anything can take that purpose from him. So now I'm either left to believe that he will speak or that his purpose doesn't require him to.
Right.
And to that end, I can say, no matter what happens, he still lives out his reason, I guess. Right. But do I think that calamities and negative things and murder as we talked about earlier, happen for a reason? I mean, I don't. No, I think that it's awful, and it's sad that negative things happen to people. But I do believe that if we're in alignment with our soul's purpose, that we can still have that outcome.
Right. So then maybe we need to murder that phrase. Instead of everything happens for a reason, everything happens for a purpose.
Yeah. Like
that a lot better. Everything. Because it's about the ultimate purpose, but we still have control over the inner workings of our life.
Yeah. And then I wouldn't be surprised either to have the clarity one day or in my afterlife or however it all works to realize that right down to the napkin on the table, everything does happen for because and I've been a part of things that were so synchronistic. And even you think of how you and I met, and it has to go back to this, to that, to this, to that. And there's definitely those times where you're like, I mean, maybe it's down to this job that I'm like, I need it, I want it, I must to have it.
Right.
It's so interesting. All these little things that I did that I didn't know why I did before put me in such a perfect position to get noticed for this job. And I'm like, you know, I thought that was a failure. I thought that was a dead end. I thought, now I'm eating all the words I just said. And but yeah, I don't know.
I don't think we really answered the question at all.
You know what? I think the science is settled on this. We clearly cleared it up. There's no more question. Now everybody knows.
What do you viewers think?
Yeah, drop it in the comments. Does everything happen for a reason? And if you can't really 100% get behind that quote, drop us the quote as you would say it. So
I like that.
Yeah, tell us what you think.
Yes. That's good.
Wrapping it up. Oh, yes, we have a fan question. I'm excited about this one because I've never asked it. So this is coming from a fan of ours, Janet. Hello, Janet.
Hey, Janet.
Janet wants to know about your ink.
Oh, my ink.
Yes. Is there a story to the? Oh, yeah. Looking good. Wow. I got to know, did it hurt?
What's that?
Oh, yeah. Drop a picture of it in the comments. First off, I need to know, did it hurt?
Actually, I will tell you. I did pretty good. I didn't need a break. This was done in 3 stages. So first stage was the outline. Then it was all the shading. And then it was the blue. So this took 3 days.
Oh.
I didn't think it hurt that bad. Where it did hurt, believe it or not, is when it got close to the armpit.
Like this part?
Uh-huh.
I can't. I just gave myself a full body chill thinking about it.
Right? I decided to go with this. And typically I don't like tattoos with like a whole ton of color. So that's why I stuck to one color. But I did a dragon because I was born in the year of the dragon.
Ooh.
And then my grandfather was born the year of the dragon. So what I did was I found his signature. And I had that incorporated in the tattoo.
That's so cool.
And it also has his birthday in there.
Oh, that's awesome.
I decided to go with blue, so it would be a dragon coming out of the water to honor that he was in the Navy.
That's so cool. I love this story.
It comes full circle.
I love a good tattoo story. That's awesome.
So that's the reason for that one.
Put some pictures of it in the post, Johnny. And I have to, hats off to your bravery because not only do I pass out when I have to have blood drawn, I've never pierced my ears, and I shall never have a tattoo. No, because they use a needle and they put a hole in your body. No, thank you.
Oh.
I think if I ever went and got a tattoo, they'd do 1 dot and I'd run out of there. Yeah, I'm over it. But that is a amazing tattoo.
Well, thank you, and thank you, Janet.
Yep, and so are we Ready for our awkward ending?
I think we might be ready for our awkward ending.
All right. So
it's super weird and
it's good. We get to end it with me eating my burrito that I put aside.
Oh, that's a delicious burrito. What did you call it? Burrito Booze Day?
That's what I think they should name a restaurant. Burrito Booze Day. Every day is Booze Day at Burrito.
Somebody create the restaurant and then just send us a check for the name.
Just give me free burritos.
Free burritos. All right.
Bye, y'all.
And bye, y'all.